said Mhm.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sir, hello. Hello.
Okay, all right. Can I start the session?
1 second, sir. I have to talk something, sir. 1 second, sir.
Sir, good morning, Rajan sir. Your video is not available.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sir, good morning, sir. Your video is not available.
Sir, hello.
Hello, Dr. Rajan sir.
Hello.
Okay, all right. Can I start the session?
Sir, your video is not available.
I have to talk something, sir. 1 second, sir.
Sir, good morning, Rajan sir. Your video is not available. Sir, good morning, sir. Your video is not available.
Sir, hello.
Hello, Dr. Rajan sir.
Hello. Sir. Hello.
Hello?
Sir, Professor?
Yeah. Yes,
Sir,
madam.
shall we start this session, sir?
Yeah. Sure.
Sir, your video is not available, sir.
I don't know. Let me check, madam.
Yeah, it's visible, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we will start the session.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
okay, sir. Pleasant morning to all of you. This is Dr. R. Shivakami, and it's my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to the second season of IT Live webinar. So, we are honored to have Dr. A. Arogirajan, Professor, Department of Applied Mechanics, Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, with us today as a resource person. So, on behalf of PSNA CET, we are pleased to welcome our resource person, whose topic of presentation today is how to prepare a good research grant proposal. So, we welcome you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, we would like to welcome our HOD, Dr. A. Vincent Anthony Kumar, Professor and Head Department of IT, PSNA CET. We welcome you, sir. So we are delighted to have around 600 plus participants from various states of our India. So it's wonderful to see so many of you in this webinar. So on behalf of management, principal, and staff members of PSNA CET, we welcome all the participants to the first day session on how to prepare a good research grant proposal of season 2 IT webinar. Now, we would like to play a teaser about our college. So I would like to request Dr. Pavala Rajan, Professor, Department of IT, to present the AV. Sir.
Audio is not coming, Paul.
So thank you, Professor Pavala Rajan.
Madam, please proceed.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. So I'm really honored to introduce our today's resource person, Dr. A. Arogirajan. who is a professor in the Department of Applied Mechanics, IIT Madras. So professor has obtained his PhD from University of Kaiserslautern, Germany, and PDF from University of Nottingham, UK. So his areas of interest in research include smart materials and structures, composites, and biomaterials. So to his credit, Professor Rajan has around 120 publications in various reputed journals. So under his guidance, 3 postdoctoral fellows, 7 PhD scholars, and 11 MS scholars have obtained their degrees. Currently, Professor is guiding 2 postdoctoral fellows, 12 PhD scholars, and 2 MS scholars. And our professor has completed 11 funded projects of rupees 2.3 crores worth. Currently, 3 projects worth of rupees 3.5 crores are ongoing from funding agencies like ISRO, DST, NRB, DMRL, CSIR, ARMREB, DRDO, ARDE, SERB, and etc. So today we have a right person from whom we can acquire great knowledge on preparation of good proposal for receiving a research grant. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
And now I would like to invite our HOD, Dr. A. Vincent Anthony Kumar, for a few words. Sir.
Hello, good morning, Professor.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, thank you for accepting our invitation. Yeah. So today we have faculty members from all over the India, and they are watching in the YouTube. The count is increasing, and as well as here we have participants, some 45. We extend up to 100. That's the maximum in the Zoom. So thank you very much for accepting our spending your valuable time for the faculty members. Sir. Thank you, sir. Please, sir, proceed, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good morning to all of you. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to give a lecture on this topic. My sincere thanks to Professor Vincent and the co-workers of PSNA IT. So, sir was asking me to give a lecture on this topic some time ago when I visited GATE representative to PSNA. So, we were looking for some opportunity, and at the end, we thought that since due to this COVID-19, so we have to have online session. So offline session we have postponed now, and thought that this is the right time probably to discuss about this particular topic. So I will share a few ideas by which I start writing the proposals, and then later how I will take one of the proposal what I have written and how it was funded to SCRB. I will try to discuss. Unfortunately, I am from mechanical engineering area, so kindly pardon me if some of the topics are a bit new to other streams. But nevertheless, you'll be able to understand the gist of that presentations, what we need to write in the proposal, and how we can attract a proposal with a good funding scenario in the present conditions. So I'll try to discuss probably 45 minutes or so, and then probably I'll be happy to take a few questions a little later about that one. So let me start with the basic presentation. So possibly you can see the slides. I suppose you can see the slides, right? Can you see the slides, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So my email ID is given in the first slide, and also my website is also given in the first slide. So if you need anything, you can drop me an email at any time. You can also say if you need some more information from my website. All right. So when we want to write a proposal, these are on the first part which we need to start off with. First, we need to look at the cover page. Means like you have to have a cover page wherein you need to write the title of the proposal, and then you have to make it out, which is the funding agency where this proposal is going to be submitted, and the emblem of your institute, and the month of the month and year at which you are submitting, all the data should be there in the front cover page. And then possibly we need to start as usual. Some of us would have been written a paper, some of us would have been written a thesis, and some of us will be writing or helping UG, PG project, PhD as well. There we need to look at this introduction and then need to subsequently extend it for the literature review. And the research design here we need to place on it. And then finally, of course, we need to end up with a research list. This is a very common strategy which we need to look at it. So the difference is here, we have to make enough efforts to do the research design. That is the part which is the crux. And when you do this literature survey, it is also mandatory to tell that one what was available in the literature and how your work is going to be different from the other one, and what is the benefit out of that one. That's the way how we need to look into it. It's not just to only referring what is available in the literature, what is the outcome of the literature that should be there in that one. For example, there is a work which was not done, or you are not aware of this kind of work have been done, and so we need to focus on the particular area. Why we need to focus on that particular area? Because that could be the current state of the art problem which India or our state or our district or whatever the case, it is mandatory to re-look into it. That's the way how we need to project on that one. So all these topics are pretty important. At the same time, it should not be too long, but it has to be, it has to have proper justification for each and every topic of our interest. So when we write the table of content, when you want to write, basically what you need is it's a big picture. What are all you may need to look into that one, and then we need to look into the table of contents of the proposal. So first one is, what is the purpose of the research proposal? So is it going to be a basic science, or is it going to be an applied science, or it is going to be a pure application perspective? One would argue that at the end of all our research, we are looking for an application. Yes, there's no doubt about that one, but sometimes you may not be able to directly link your research proposal with the application. So that's why even if you look at it, some of the research or funding agency, they will ask you like it's a basic research or applied research, or only basic and applied together to come into that one. So that's the way how the purpose of the research proposal needs to be taken into account of that one. Then title of the page, introduction, literature review, research design and methods. It is an extension of what we have discussed in the previous the slide. And implications and the contribution to the knowledge. This one. This is also pretty important, and you need to take into account of that one. We need to tell that one, there are some areas where we wouldn't work, and some areas we would have worked on that one. So to me, if you ask me, I would write a proposal wherein I have started off already working little bit, which will also give the confidence to the funding agency that, okay, this guy has started off working on that. So possibly, if we give a funding, he may be able to finish the work. That is one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it, is completely a new area which you didn't work on that one. You can also do this one. But that particular part, if you're writing a proposal which is completely new area, then you may need to have a very strong literature survey on that one. So without that, if we submit, probably sometimes they may not like to fund that one, because you haven't worked, you are just new. And when you start off some new work and you ask for big funding, for example, to buy an equipment or so, they will have hundreds of questions. Why do you need that one? Why do you need this particular equipment? Why not first you start with a simple work, and first 3 years, you make the proof of concept is working, then you can write the phase 2 wherein you can take it up the big project. That's the way how sometimes it works out. And reference list of bibliography, research schedule, and budget. So generally, this is the two parts where we don't focus much on this one. We have to really look at it, the research schedule. first
Sir,
3 months,
sir,
the second 3 months.
Dr. Rajan, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Can you hear?
Sir, your the PPT is flickering. PPT is flickering. PPT, PowerPoint is flickering.
Okay, I will once again and open it out. I don't know why, but let me see. Is it okay now?
Same, sir.
I see. Okay. All right. So what will I do? Probably should I share the PowerPoint and then probably I can tell the page numbers and then I can discuss. Because this problem comes now because so far I didn't face this flickering problem. I don't know why today is coming. Probably the internet network is pretty poor also. I do not know here. Let me check once again, sir. Is it flickering all the time or is it happening only now?
So continuously it is flickering, sir,
Okay.
after you have started the presentation.
Okay. Let me see.
No, your video is not flickering, but your PPT is flickering.
How about now, sir? Still it is flickering?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I see. So what will I do? I will send this presentation. Can you share from your side? Let's see how it is
Yes,
showing
sir.
in
Yes,
the
sir.
Yeah. Okay. I will send straight away now by WhatsApp. You can share and you can change the slides probably.
Sir.
Sir, I have shared the presentation to you by WhatsApp. Can you open it out?
Sir, to whom you have?
Yours, sir. Vincent, for you, sir. Your WhatsApp.
Vincent, sir. Sir. Okay.
Yeah. The first presentation, I am sending two presentation on the one and file also. Please open the first one, the format research proposal. Vincent sir, did you get my PPT?
Sir, 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Yes, sir. I'm able to view this screen, sir.
So now you can proceed, sir, please.
Yeah. But probably I may not be in a position to scroll the presentation. So probably I need to tell you to scroll the
No problem, sir. I
presentation.
take care, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, the second slide, sir. The next slide, the next one, sir. Yes. So sorry for the hurdle in between. So we'll continue the discussion. So when you write the proposal, so the table of contents are pretty important. And the first one is something like, you have to write the purpose of the research proposal, title of the page, introduction, literature review, research design and the method, implications and contributions to knowledge, a reference list, research schedule, as well as the budget. So, as I told you, the implications and the contribution to the knowledge, that's the one which is going to give the impact to this one. And as I told you, either you would have worked in that area and you may be trying to extend it, or you may try to find out a new topic to write on it. So if we are something new topic which we are trying to look into it, we need a very strong literature survey, and we need to know in depth about that. Because as a third person who is sitting in the funding agency, he will be looking at it. You are entering in the new research area. The topic is pretty new to you, and will you be in a position to deliver it? So for that, we need to have an answer with us, and that will show the way how we have prepared the work or the research proposal. That has to talk when you go for the presentation. And of course, the research schedule, it matters for that one. See, when you put a research schedule, like the agencies will also look at it whether we are giving enough information or simply we are putting some stuff. For example, sometimes they may be thinking that this work may take 6 months, but probably we put it something like I can do it in 4 months or 3 months or so on. So then sometimes what will happen, in order to attract the funding, we may put a lot of objectives and put the research schedule is very tight. But when we go for the review of the presentation, first year or second year, we may be lagging a lot. So that has to be very clear for us whether we are in a position to capable of handling that one. Of course, it all depends upon the research scholar or the JRF or anyone who is going to work with it based on that one. But then when you go for the presentation, we cannot tell that my research scholar who I hired, he went off away, or the project student is inefficient to handle this one. This kind of things we cannot tell, because the question will be raised for us that I have funded for you, not like the project is, you are the main person who is going to run the project. These research scholars are given on top of that one. So it is your responsibility to make him to work. Otherwise, you have to work and give the deliverables. That's what everybody will expect that one. So See, to some extent, there are some issues which is fine with that one. And sometimes what will happen, there may be an issue that will try to change something. I'm sorry for a minute. Hello. Okay, sir. So that is the way how the research schedule should be done. And then finally the budget. The budget should also be very when you put the budget, we need to have a proper quotation with us. Though they may not ask initially, but the cost and everything has to be kept it properly when you submit the proposal. And can you go to the next slide, sir? Yeah. So a few points which I'm going to discuss that what we have done in the previous one, and like it's a relevance. Research proposal aims. So the purpose of the research proposal, first one is relevance. Convince the reader that your project is interesting, original, and important. As you know that now, if you submit a proposal to SCRB, there is a clause that one for a separate agency will be looking into the plagiarism, and based on that, we will subsequently send it for the review. So now many agencies are trying to do this plagiarism, and then only they are taking to that one. So which means that one, what we are talking about, the originality of that one, it is matters, and it's also important and in the present scenario for research or country, for application, whatever the context. And then the second part is the context within it, so that you are familiar with the field, you understand the current state of the research on the topic, and your ideas have a strong academic basis. It is typically, academic basis means what we mean to say that even though you may look at the problem for an application, but the fundamentals should be addressed properly to that particular problem of our interest. So rather talking about the big picture directly, we jump in something, there should be an academic base. That's why these projects are given to academics. If the funding agency wanted to give it to the industries or research, that will be looked at the different one. When it goes from academic side, it has to have an academic flavor to that one as well. Approach. Make a case of your methodology showing that one you have carefully thought about the data, tools, procedures you will need to conduct the research. So this approach is pretty important, and that when we have to have enough thought to do this. And for example, try to develop a model. If I write a problem that one, I try to develop a model. What kind of a model? Why do you need that model? Have you looked at this model? And how much time will take? What are all the data you want? Have you have enough facility to develop the data or to share by someone for the data? All the things matters when we want to find this one. I would say a little different in a way that when I am trying to write an approach, I will look at it. What is my capacity? What I'm expecting the person who is I'm going to cover this one. Is there any expert in my institute, whether I can go and talk to him if there are any issues, which is easy for me because I don't need to travel within the institute. Can I get help from my colleagues? Then looking at it somewhere in and around my place where we are staying, for example, Chennai means I will look at it any other agency or any other company or any other research centers or institute having the experts. Can I get the help from them? And then I'll go to the next step, whether I can find out anywhere in my state or neighboring states or so on. So this has to be pretty careful to look into this one. Something like if I want to work something on biological systems, I should have thousands of data. For example, can I get thousands of data? Whether like ethical clearance will be given. Can I go to an agency where the state government-based hospitals or private hospitals, or taking into account of the central government-based hospital like a JIPMER, which is in Pondicherry, or do I need to go to AIMS? All this data which I should be careful on looking on it. And the feasibility. Confirming that the project is possible within the practical constraint of the program, institutions, or funding for that one. This is another one. That's what I'm talking about. Approach and feasibility are two hands together, goes together. That one, like So until I know the feasibility, I cannot do an approach for that one. So that's the way how the next step is going to involve in that one. So also we need to look at it into that one, how long is the research proposal? That should also be clear. Is it 2 years or 3 years? That should be also be carefully looked at it. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So introduction, the first part of your proposal in the initial pitch for your project, make sure that one explains what do you want to do and why. Introduce the topic, give the background and context, outline of the problem statement, and then come to the research questions for that one. Some important questions to guide to your introduction includes that who has an interest in the topic, how much is already know about the problem, what is missing from the current knowledge, what new insight will your research contribute, why is this research worth doing for that one. These are all some pondering questions. Probably we need to look into it. This is what it is going to come into this one is a problem statement. See, the problem statement will be a bigger point. So, that one, it is not only one, current situation. So we need the problem statement is like we are importing the PCR kit, which is very expensive. Do we need to make a PCR kit for this COVID issue? Can I make a PCR kit in such a way that one, it has to be available immediately and it should be worthwhile, and the cost wise also should be comparable to that one. These are all these problem statements which I have in the present scenario. And what are all the research questions is going to be there? What will be the reliability? And how do we make it to, that one, to check that one and their comparison between the existing test kit, whether it is very close to that one. And do we have, whether it has to be a tabletop facility which has to be tested? I mean, we take a blood sample, but a swab test, and how we need to take into that one. From that, what are all the, suppose how much time the test needs to be done? Can I reduce it that one? From protocol point of view, so biochemistry and biologists and doctors can be able to tell us that one, what is the research questions which we need to address to this. And for example, the research people used to say this in COVID, and the strain is 10 different kinds of a strain. And how do we know that one is the 10 different kinds of a strain? So whether we make a PCR kit, whether it will work for all the 10 different kinds of a strain. So these are all the questions we'll be pondering around. That should be pretty important to look into that one. So these are all the questions should also be taken into account when you want to write the proposal. Next slide. Next slide. Literature survey. So compare and contrast. It means what are all the main theories, methods, debates, and controversies. I would say this one, even though controversy sometimes comes, it all depends upon how do we write that one. So in my opinion, and rather talking about the controversies, we can say this one diplomatically, how we can find out what is the limitations and how it could be addressed. Be critical. So what are all the strengths and weakness of the different approaches? So so we need to tell that one, this model is able to predict that one, but nevertheless, the model has some limitation towards this particular part. In a way that one, it is critical, but it may be kind of little bit diplomatic and not to criticize very, very badly, in my opinion. Show how your research fits in. How will you build challenges, synthesis, and also the work of others. This should also be carefully addressed in the literature survey. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. Research design and the methods. See, I'm trying to look at it. I'm trying to discuss about only very key critical points. In fact, when you want to write a proposal, this is a elaborative discussion. In my opinion, it has to be discussed in detail. But nevertheless, since the time is very restricted, I'm looking at only a few points where, if I am the reviewer and I am the receiver, what are all I look at it and how I will be judged that one. So I have to put me under the shoe of if I am the person who is going to receive the proposal or review the proposal of X or Y, what do I expect? And if I keep myself in that one, then I myself ask a critical questions that will come in my research proposal. This is how I am looking at it. So the research type, as I told you, it is like a qualitative or quantitative. Will you collect the data or the work from the primary or the secondary sources? So research descriptive, experimental or theoretical, all these things should also be there. I've also used another word, that one, whether it's a basic research or applied research, that also matters. It has to come in the research type. What are these sources? Exactly what or who will you study? How do you select the subject or sources? When and where you collect the data. This is extensively used in anything related to the biological systems or related to the physics studies or related to any kind of a problem. So you need to have enough data. And the question is around, do we need thousands of data or hundreds of data, which are all, we have a standard. Sometimes you may have a standard, sometimes you may not have the standard. In that case, we have to specify there is no standard data is available, but I am projecting that, and by using the projections, I am able to go very close to the exact result. We never make exact results, but we can go pretty close to the exact result. That's all. What tools and procedures will you use to collect and analyze the data? And like, why are these the best methods to answer your research questions? So when we say this one, this is the best method. If you say, and we should be very careful about that to address that particular issue. As I told you, the practicalities is also matters. Means how much time will you need to collect the data? How will you gain the access to the participants or sources? And do you foresee any potential obstacles, and how do you address them? This is pretty important. So for example, we develop an experimental setup, but whatever the reason the experimental setup, we may not be in a position to make it. Or even if you make the experimental setup, it may work for a few days and then it may go off. And one of the component may fail. And it may take like maybe 2 months or maybe a week or more than that one. It depends upon availability of the component. It may stall that one. In that case, how do we address that one? Of course, we cannot go for the second one. We have to repair it. During this repair time, how are we going to efficiently use that time? Are we planning to an alternative approach, or are we going to go to the other side to identify that one? One of my friends is having the setup. So do I need to use the facilities and tell him that one, well, I will be in a position to use the facility for some time, but then I will also give the credit to you. Like that, possibly we may also need to look at it, the issues which might happen. For example, last 3 months, we are in complete shutdown, which none of us expected. The entire country didn't expect for that one. So now if any problems are running, we may be in a stall. This is an across the country is facing the problem. So we don't have any major issues, but then we should also justify when you go for 2 months, we are not able to successfully do this one, but rather we have done some studies sitting at home. I have done a review, I have done and this particular, but so that also the committee will also, when you go for the review, they may be happy about to see that one still you are active of doing this thing. Next slide. Can you move to the next slide? Yeah, next slide. Yeah, implications and the contribution to the knowledge. Improving process in a specific location or field, informing policy objectives, strengthening a theory or the model, challenging popular or scientific assumptions, creating a basics for further research. Improving the process in the specification, location, or field. Say, for example, that like sometimes it is, I would say this one today, one of the problem what people are facing about, there are many migrant workers are working, and apparently, like, government doesn't want them to walk. So what had happened that one, they started off walking the railway tracks, and presuming that one, there is no trains are running that one, and apparently they were sleeping in the railway track itself. That makes a catastrophic tragedy. So is it possible to find out a location, how people are moving, all these things, probably improving the process to monitor that. Policy objectives, that is also sometimes that one, well, our research will also, the problem will also give some objectives to the policy. See, for example, lockdown cannot be extended. Lockdown can be extended. That is the policy-based objectives for the problem of our interest. Strengthening a theory or the model. So there are some models or theories are available, how our research work is going to strengthen that particular case. Challenging popular and scientific assumptions. See, the entire studies in our case, there is an ideal case and there is an approximation. Most of the time we will do a lot of approximations, but remember that these approximations have to have a justification. That's all we need to look into carefully. Do I need to take into the account? Suppose I take in a problem which is of A4 size sheet, the sheet which we are writing. Can I consider to be a two-dimensional model or a three-dimensional model? You would say this one, sir, let us go for 2D because the length and the width of the A4 size is much higher than the thickness. So I need to make an assumption that it can be done by using a 2D, like that, creating a basis for the further research. So, probably in sometimes we make an assumptions to start with one, and then probably we may need to extend some of the problems which we cannot answer this one. We can say research features will be focused on that. Like that, probably it is also matters to look into that one. What is the future direction for that? Next slide. Yeah, the research schedule. So you look at it, the research schedule. So generally what we do that one, the research stage. So here we have the background and the literature survey. There we would have been studied already a little bit, but then when you submit the proposal, when you get this one, of course, the right hand side is given a deadline with the date. We don't need the date, but rather we could also give something like a month wise. And like research design planning means the design questionnaires, identifying online, offline channels, and finalizing the sampling method and then data analysis method, all these things. We can do the data collection and the preparation and here and data analysis and writing complete the full thesis draft to meet the supervisor, all these things, redraft the feedback and so on. So when you look at it, and this research schedule is resembling a PhD thesis, but it is not so. So in a way, when we look at it here, it is also in line with the research work or a PhD scholar's work, but it should be a little different that one. The research scholar's work, what will happen? We will take some deliverables, but if you are not able to make the deliverables, it is to some extent is okay. But when you take a project, we have to have achieved the deliverables, at least the 80% of that one. So here is a confined time, 3 years of you have to give the deliverables. In the research side, the concept wise the same, but instead of 3 years, if you are not able to do because of whatever the reasons, well, you can take 6 months or 1 year in order to move that one. That way, how this can be interrelated between one to the other one. Next slide, sir. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, the budget. So when you talk about the budget, exactly how much money do you need? Justification. Why the cost is necessary to complete the research? How did you calculate the amount? Like the question will ask sometimes, that suppose you ask an equipment, and the question will be rising, don't you have that equipment in your institute? If you don't have the equipment in your institute, don't you get from the neighbor? Don't you use the neighbor institute? Don't you get the common facilities? Will it be useful for that one? And we need to have an answer for that one. Well, sir, there is a common facility which is available in X or Y place, but for me to finish this project, I need to use continuously for 6 months or 1 year, which common facility cannot be used. My neighbor cannot share that equipment with me for 1 year or so. That has to be very clear to the committee, and we should be fair enough to confident of ourselves to defend that one. And of course, the travel costs, like in the travel costs, generally we put this one conferences and review meetings and so on. So, and materials, do you need access to any tools or technology, or are there any training and installation costs? This also matters, because sometimes nowadays the software, when you want to use that one, it is every year you need to upgrade the license or whatever the case. It's not like some softwares you need to pay every year some amount for AMC kind of stuff. So these are all the things you need to take into account of this one. Research assistants, of course, when you do that one, whether you need one research scholar or two research scholars or masters, and what is there, why do they need to, if you need 2 people, why do you need 2 people? Can you do it with 1? All these things, and time, do you need to take leave from your regular duties such as teaching? How much you need to cover the time spent for the research? This will also mandate, though many of the research proposals in India, we were not paid for anything for us for research proposals, but some of the agencies will ask that how much time are you going to spend? Because if you have 10 research projects and you are also doing teaching, they will ask the question that one, you may not be able to spend enough time for this proposal. You have already quite some projects, and I don't see that one you will be able to spend the time. So we have to be very careful in this particular case. How do we address this issue? So we have to plan for that one. The question will be asked, because when you write the proposal, how many projects are running, all these things questions will be asked this one. So we have to be careful about how much time can be spent on this thing. No, sir, in the evening we'll spend, all these things is fine, no problem at all. But it has to have a proper justification. We have to also tell that in a week I could spend only 4 hours. That's all. More than that I cannot spend. I could spend 8 like when vacation comes, I may need to be able to spend probably 2 months in a year completely for this particular project. That kind of concepts and confirmations we should also tell the committee, so that committee will be happy about that one. There is a dedication, there is a promise from the person who is submitting the proposal. Next slide, sir. Yeah. I think that's all what I have, the big picture which I have given. So now I request you, sir, can you please open one of the document file which I have shared with you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is a big proposal. This is a big picture of the research proposal, and I will probably I will show you some projects which was written.
Sir, which one, sir? Word file or PPT, sir? Yes,
Word file, sir. First you open the Word file, then I will go to the PPT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, it's getting loading. Please wait, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, now you can proceed, sir.
Yeah. All right. So just you browse it, sir. So I will tell one by one. And as I told you in the previous presentation, so this is a proper. I am from mechanical engineering, so my proposals is most of them are mechanical oriented stuff. But nevertheless, it will give an idea. You can visualize what I have shared, the commonality of general presentations and general proposals, and what I have done. The first page, it was giving this one, you have to give the cover page. If you see the presentation, this is what the cover page. You can see here that the title is given and where it was submitted. So can you please scroll down? And this is my institute and when I have submitted this one. And this is what there in the first page of that one. Then and this is a kind of the format of SERB. So what was asked, the technical details. So as it is written that one, first as per this one, we need to look at into origin of the proposal. So like, it's a generic one. So you will be writing about the particular topic. Can you scroll down? And where the originate comes, means like why these topics are pretty important, from where this proposal has come. Can you scroll down to the same page? Yeah. So little bit up. And also, see, in my opinion, I generally give few images also, because if you have a lot of write-ups, the people may not be in a position to happy to read all the time, or the reviewers. Rather, this kind of an images which will provide more information to the people. So this will also help this like to give the clarity to the reviewers when we do that one. Come down. Next one. Next slide. Next page. Yeah. So sometimes I will also give kind of like that one origin of the proposals, about what is this effect, some formula kind of stuff, which is also better to give that one. Can you move down, sir? Once again, in the origin of the proposals, I have also given another image, like here to tell about that one, what was available and why are we looking this particular part. And if you scroll down, and I have written at the end of this slide, in the end of this page, there is a bold italics. It is of cordial importance to optimize the connectivity configuration to get the enhanced productive effect, so on. So this is the part, is the summary of origin of the proposal. So and it is giving that one, what we are trying to do. This helps into a better design device that uses so on so, and increase its efficiency to use energy harvesting memory devices and device applications. So the origin of the proposal will provide you that one, why this origin of the proposal, why is it important? That is there in the origin of the proposal itself. So this will provide you, if you take a very long proposal, the persons will also be look at it, what was written at the end of the summary. So the proposal should have this kind of stuff, in my opinion, and it has to be highlighted properly. Next slide, and next page, sir. Then the next topic was given is review of status of research and development of the subject. If you look at it, the common we call as a literature survey. Instead of literature survey, here agencies will give a different name. One is on international status. Can you go down, sir? So we need to give that recent years and when it was originated. We will try to give the gist of that one, just to browse that one. And what was all done in the international status. Then come down, sir, come down. Yeah, please keep on moving, because this is like a literature survey. So you can elaborate, discuss this one, and you can see here also we will be writing a summary for that one. So at the end of this, before the national status, if you see this one, there is a bold and highlighted write-up. In the bold and highlighted write-up, it is there that one, what is the summary of that one. And the same thing, national status. So if you look at the national status also, there is a summary. There is a lot of need of materials such as so and so have spurred use in several Indian engineering in India, defense, space, and so on. So research towards the growth of MMC has been already started, and materials with a different composition tried out. These are all the summaries. So what we are trying to tell that one, even though that one the research have been started, but there is a limitation on that one. So that diplomatically, if you look at it, it is written here. However, research towards the layered composites are very limited. But layered composites provide more ME composites than the particulate composites, like that. So this line is like, however, research towards the layered composites are very limited in this topic. This is the crux here, So in India, though research has started, we are giving a benefit. At the same time, we are also telling that one, where is the limitation? Why I do need to work on that field. This will give a strong information to the people diplomatically, but not criticizing and straightforward to the concerned people. Next slide, sir. So if you look into it, this one, all the topics what we were writing that, these are all was given and with a small summary, and importance of the proposal project in the concept of current status. So can you browse down, sir? So my concept is here is a layered approach. So I have also given the proposed configurations a little bit of, sir, before the objective of the proposal. Yeah. There is a image, there is a figure, the same slide, there is a, yeah, just hold it. So this is the proposed configuration of my research topic. So this is what I am going to do. So I am trying to tell what I am going to do in a graphical way. So it is easy for the persons to understand. It is easy for us also to explain rather many writing. Come down, sir. And then the objective of the proposal. So the objective of the proposal, this is what, see, the problem definition is very big, but here we are giving you a few objectives which we will be taking into account of that one. For example, a model development, next experimental setup, then there is another constitutive model, and then simulate the results, and with experiments it will be compared. Come down, sir. This is one. This is basically a basic research. So what are we trying to do? That's what is given here. And then like if the project in a location specific or based on selection of location is not applicable, then we come to the methodology. So can you quickly browse? So like in my methodology, I write that one, there is a description, materials or resources required, what is the output, and the time frame. So I make methodology like this for each and every topic. Can you come down, sir, please? Literature review. Just to scroll down. So literature review. From that one, materials and all the subsections will have 4 parts. Explanation, materials, resources necessary, outcome, time frame. Investigators spanning over 6 months. What is the output of this topic? What are all the materials in access to the papers, reports, all these things. Like that, each and every methodology will be given. Then we are doing the numerical modeling exercise. Come down, sir. There I am also giving an image. See, it's always better, in my opinion, give the images so that what we want to communicate, images will give more information than the write-up. And if you look at it, all the places where there will be a write-up, there will be a resource required, what will be the outcome, what is the time frame. These 4 points will be in detail discussed with all the methodology. Come down. Please come down, sir. Yeah, just browse. So this is the third point, evaluating the testing program. Please move, please move. Please move, please move. So the concept is the same for the entire methodology. Like I may have eight bullet points to be addressed in that one. So all the things should have been there. Come down, sir. And you see here, I'm also trying to put here, you see this one, when I'm trying to develop the experimental setup, for example, how the experimental setup looks like. This is a schematic representation. So how I am planning to do, all the things are placed in this image. So when someone review this one, well, this guy has studied that one, he has already made a plan that one, what he wanted to develop. Come down, sir. So looking at it here, please scroll down. Looking at this one, if you look at most of them, I'll try to explain via images as well as figures as well as write up. Come down, sir. Move to the next slide, next page. Just keep moving, sir. I'll tell you where to stop. Yeah, here this time schedule. So I will give that time schedule. This is also given like one of that one is like how much time, and it's also pretty important. Sometimes you should know that one. Anytime there should not be only one objective. There should be a continuous objective be there. In fact, the literature survey will be keep on going, but extensive literature survey will be done in the first 6 months. But the numerical experiment will also start from the third month onwards. We don't wait for this one. Evaluation of the test schedule. So like test schedule means some of the facilities will be available, some of them we need to procure. All the things will keep on going one by one. So we cannot wait for one particular schedule to finish and start the next one. It never happens. So we have to have at least 2-3 objectives should be overlapped so that one of the other one keep moving. At the end of the first year, you will be able to give some problem. Yeah, move down, sir. So yeah, here you can given this project. I have asked for one project assistant and one junior research fellow. This was highlighted. What is the contribution of project assistant in this one? What will be the contribution from junior research fellow? This will also give that one how equally we have given an importance. Why do we need 2 people for this project and so on. So next slide, sir. Yeah, here what will happen that suggested plan of action utilization of research outcomes will be expected. So even though it may be a fundamental project, in the future where and all it will be used. So we need to identify some of the applications and then we have to write that one. This could be possible to use for this application. Next slide, sir. Yeah. Here also I try to make some images which may also help to understand for the people how will it be helpful. Next slide, sir. Next. Yeah. So expertise. My area of work. So I would say this one, at least 2-3 topics I would have made this one. These are all these areas which I'm currently working. Next slide, sir. Which will also show that one. I have this some background in that area which will help us to do this one. Key publications, as you know that one, it may not be directly involved, but it's indirectly some of the topics where we have been worked that could be linked with that one. Next slide, sir. Next page. Then bibliography that I have told already in the presentation. Come down quickly, sir. We don't have enough time for this one. Yeah. So here you see this one. What are all the projects? Yeah, move down, sir. This is also pretty important to show to this one. What are all the projects are we working and what are all the projects which we have completed? So that they will also see this one. He has enough experience and he has enough time to do this particular proposal. Come down, sir. And what are all the facilities infrastructure? This is a very standard one. Already what are all the equipments are available with the PI and the institute. Move next slide, next page, sir. Yeah, move next one. They will ask also sometimes who are all the experts. We need to give an expert who is in that field. Come down, sir. And then the budget details. So you can see here, when you give the budget details, you have to be very careful about this one. So can you scroll down? Slowly you can scroll down. It's a summary. And here is asked for manpower, like 1 JRF and 1 project assistant, and how will it be utilized? This write-up is given. Consumables. Next. And each and every year, why do you need that one? And we have to also give a small write-up that one is fair enough to have the consumables like that. And travel. So inland travel only, most of the agencies allow. So 3 years, like on an average of 10,000 per year, I put that one 3 times in a year. I may attend 1 review meeting, 2 conferences. 3rd year may have 1 more conference, something like that. We can make it. Yeah, come down, sir. And equipments here. So we will be placing what all the equipments we may need to buy. That also be placed here. Next page, sir. And you have to write a detailed explanation about, you can see here for explain why do you need this equipment, and what is the, why do you need for your own lab? Cannot use your common facilities. All these things should be very clearly written in that. Yeah, come down, sir. That's all. So then you can give your biodata, all these things. So if you see here, if you relate what I have discussed, a common research proposal and how this proposal is coined, this is all correlated one over the each other for that one. And I will take another 5 minutes. I have to go at 11 o'clock. There is a delay. I have sent you one more presentation. Can you open the presentation?
Sir, 2 minutes, sir, please.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a presentation given by me to the committee after review this one. Next slide. So next slide, sir. So this is the definition of the problem. What I have written in the proposal, the same thing. You can put this one, and this like, you know, when you give few bullet points, we don't need to give all, but we need to give only the bullet points. So if you look at it here, and there are few points which is shown, that one red color means difficult to attain. This is a negative point, means limitation, difficult to attain the required property. Manufacturing, fabrication, and limitations. These are all the cases which is having this option A and option B. Hence, we are going to option C. So this option C is easy to fabricate and also to exhibit this some effect. This is a limitation which is available in the other 2 configurations. Hence, we are planning to go for the 3rd configuration. And what is the benefit of that one? This is the first slide to give a big picture how the definition of the problem comes into that one. Next slide. Then objectives. This is a cut and paste from that one. But you look at it here, I have used different colors. So this is pretty important. So first one is, I will develop a model. Experimental setup, constitutive relation, coupled finite element model, parametric identification. Even though that is a descriptive, but these are all the points which we need to be addressed, which will be addressed as an objective. That's all. So though there are many write-ups, but people may not like to read all write-ups, but these are all the clinch points will show to the entire committee who is sitting there. Maybe 5 to 10 people will be sitting in that hall. Next slide, sir. Current status. So when you give this current status, you will also see this one. And just to give a big picture, you don't need to tell everything, but this, you know, this red color which shows that one, these are all all the recent topics which are all working on the current status. This is on international level. Next slide, sir. And this is a national level. What are all the things are happening in the current status national level? That should also be told clearly as a only few just points. Next slide, sir. And this is the novelty of the proposed work. This is the one which is going to fund in detail to you. So what is the novelty? Why is novel? It has to be very clearly told, and I try to explain to the people by using these images so that it is easy for them to understand rather to make many write-ups. Next slide, sir. And methodology. So this is the same thing which I have shown you the methodology. I put one by one, and what are all I am going to use. All the things I am trying to put here so that the reviewer will think that one, okay, this guy has done enough work on understanding the methodology. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. So 6 methodologies is given. It is also important to be confident that one initiated work plan. So I want to tell that one, we have already started off working on that project, and some facilities are already available. This is what I want to show. This will also give the confidence to the people that one, well, this in the 100%, 10% I started off working on that one. I understand. You don't need to show any results. You can tell that one, we have started off working on that one. These are all the implications which we are facing now. Next one. And that's all. So what is the work which you have initiated is very important to convince the committee. Next slide. And importance of the proposal. So even though we have written all the important many points, but at the end of the day, you will be seeing the bottom of the slide, there is a small cartoon or images, shows is a material development, application, material design. I'm telling that one, the importance of the proposal is like I am holding in between. Material development is happening a lot, applications are happening a lot, but I'm trying to do the interface in between this one. This is the main importance of the proposal. And in the bottom of that one, that is the only one message I will be showing to the committee. Next slide. This is the time frame which I have shown. I just simply made cut and paste here. Next one. Contribution in this area. So possibly, like so far, what are all the papers we have published in that area, not in that research work, which is on that area related to that one. Next slide. And budget here. So here I'll give only the cut and paste from that one and how I worked out the budget here as well. Next one. What are the equipments I need to purchase? Because mostly equipments will be a bit expensive, so they may be asking about that particular part. So we have to have a proper justification. Next slide. Do you have any industrial tie-up? If so, yes. Otherwise, we have to tell that one. There are some research labs may get benefit from that one. Next slide. That's all, the references. Yeah. So that's a way how you can stop the proposal. You can stop sharing this presentation. Yeah. So now, if you look at it carefully, whatever I have initially told for a common proposal, whatever I have shown how the proposal was written, if you link one over the other, what you understand that one, we need to make few images, and the images should talk, and also we have to be fair enough to understand the literature, what is going on, and why is it important for us to do that one. And the third point is, when we are working on the budget, we have to be very careful about that one justification. And the deliverables, when we are trying to provide that with the methodology and time frame, whether we will be in a position to deliver on time. There may be some issues here and there, that should be okay. But when you are doing that one, there is a failure. It is also no problem at all to show the failure when you go for the review meeting. We have tried that one, it didn't work. It is fine. So some of the experts may give an opinion, and some of them, you can try in this other way around. This will also be have that one. And sometimes, as I told you, one of them in the chat, they asked, should we need to have a publication in that area? It is not necessary. You don't need that one. But when you go for the presentation, it would be better to show that one you have already started off. Some of you probably with the BTech project, or BE project, ME project, something like that. We have started off working on that area, which will also show the confidence to the reviewer or the expert committee that one he can deliver. That should be there with their mind. That's all as a summary. I'm sorry that there was a delay in between due to this internet connections and so on. But nevertheless, I hope that this is a useful session. If anything, we can have a detailed discussions later anytime. You can also drop me an email. If possible, I will try to give my opinion or suggestions. What I learned, I will try to share with all of you.
Yes, sir. The session was very useful, sir. So now may I request Dr. Vincent Anthony Kumar, our head, Department of Information Technology, for a few words. Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. I think during your busy schedule, I think you have a lot of responsibilities in IIT.
No problem, sir. Yeah.
You spend time to our faculty members all over the all engineering colleges. Faculty members are watching the entire session, and there is a very grateful and honor to be a IIT professor coming over here and giving the webinar and spending with the faculty, the young faculty members who is completed the PhD program, and they are waiting for the applying their research. And one common question will be there always in their mind, how being the self-financing engineering college could apply for funding, and how we'll getting the funding in a CREB or in the DSTR funding. But I think by publishing a good papers or doing a good research, it may yes, sir. Is it how the self-financing colleges like private engineering colleges?
Yeah, I don't think so, sir. It may have some questions initial days, but I don't see now. The reason I'm talking about this one, it's all confidence. So suppose even experts know that one, there is a limitation of depends upon the different places, and they will look at it that one, what is the influence of you towards the project? That's all. So as I told you, sometimes if you are able to deliver only 30% and put your effort sincerely, that is enough. The people will tell that one, it is fine. But at the same time, we should show that the interest. That's all pretty important. We have to have the proper background and justification for that one. Some of them, when I review some of them, so one of the things is what will happen, see, these objectives. We don't need to give many objectives because sometimes we may not be able to deliver for that one. So what we can deliver, that has to be there, and we have to put foot down to the committee, tell that one, this is what I can do. With the existing facility, within the restrictions, this is what I can do. I cannot do more than that one. I will take it up your points, but if possible, I will address it. But nevertheless, I assure you that whatever I am promised in the problem, I will deliver you. And even there are some obstacles to tell the people that one, this is what it is, no problem at all. And even sometimes the reviewers tell that one, you may not have that much time, you may not have that much facility in your place, possibly. So what I would suggest you that one, you try to do this particular part. Phase 2, you can shift it the other one. So this is also pretty important. So when you write the first proposal, it may not, we do not need to, from the cost point of view, I have to have more than 50 lakhs, all these things. So start with something like a 15 lakhs or 20 lakhs to show the confidence. And then after 3 years, you can write the proposal, next proposal. The people say this one, the first proposal, he has done well. So now I have a confidence, I can pay that one.
Yes,
so to be honest, and as I am completely a computational person till I joined IIT. So the 2009 when I joined IIT, till that one I do not know any equipment. I was only working on computation in industry as well as in academia. Zero knowledge in experiments. And if my first project, when I submitted that one, the question arises that one, he is a computational person. How can he do experiments? He doesn't have any background on that one. So the committee suggested that one, he is an young staff. He is having enthusiasm to work. let us give the proposal, but there should be a co-PI who is expert in that field, who is an experimentalist. So they asked me to add an experimentalist. I have added an experimental co-PI. Then after that, at the end of the proposal, when I submitted the final review and everything, they said that where is the phase 2? Now you don't need any co-PI because you proved yourself that you can do. And the committee will definitely look into how confident you are presenting that one. They know that one you have already like you know the project, you know the hurdles what you went ahead that one. Yes, so that are all, it is very straightforward in my opinion. So I don't think it's a major concern at present. Either is a public institute or private institute. To start with a simple proposal would be always better to have a limited money and so on. So that could be a good idea to start with, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. So thank you very much, sir. I think there are some 170 the live YouTube watches, the faculty members, especially all faculty members we are given. On behalf of the entire faculty team and our management and as well as our principal, thank you very much, sir, spending time with us. And we, after the COVID period, the lockdown period, we will invite you to our college, and we have 2 or 3 like conducting a 50 program and so on, sir. So thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.